Hello Marvel Heroes fans, as well as fans of the MMOs. My name is Wilfred Wong and I'm very happy to share with you today Mega Hero review for Marvel Heroes. This free-to-play game created by Mr. Bravett, who was from the Diablo 2 team. Now, the game has hit a major milestone, 50 heroes. If you think about what other games can offer, could be like, 6 classes or whatnot, we have 50 distinct heroes. And my role here is really to share with you a review on all these 50 heroes. I've created the 44 hero review back in February, back in June, 47 hero review, and there has been a lot of feedback, and thank you for all your comments and so on. Now, it is time for an update. And as before, this video is for the new players who are still unlocking heroes, because I can imagine if you're new to this game and you just like, these are all 50 heroes out there, you may or may not recognize it from the movie, comic book, and so on. Which one shall you be unlocking? And I'm here for you, all right? And also, I know some of you may have left the game for quite some time, playing other games as well. Now is interested to come back in because, there's so many heroes, so many buzz, and so on. I'm here for you as well. All right. So, and I know a lot of you in my channels have been watching my videos and are very keen, very passionate to talk about the heroes, your favorite hero, and so on. So I'm hoping that this guy is also a platform for us to discuss various heroes, pros and cons, and so on. All right. So, now, a little bit about myself. I've been playing this game since March 2013, since the closed beta. So it's been more than about 2 years plus I've been playing this game. I have been creating guides in the YouTube for this game. I've so far 38 updated hero guides and various other guides as well for new players. Now, very unique to this video is that I have asked all my YouTube fans and friends to sort of like comment and give me their favorite hero or least favorite hero and so on. Now, so a big thank you for this overwhelming feedback. And I can't really list everybody out here, but these are the one I managed to capture because the comments are flying everywhere from game, from YouTube, and so on. So a big thank you to you all for your support, and please continue to support me, throughout 2016 and beyond. All right. Now, When we talk about this game or all this hero, it's very hard to just talk about hero without talking about the macro kind of climate on this game, because whatever happened this game happened to all the heroes and so on. Now, if the game is not fun, there's no point talking about heroes, right? So I'm still thinking the game is fun. Now, one of the biggest news in this in our world, Marvel Heroes world, is that Doomsaw, who has been with our game for more than about 2 years plus. He's leaving, Gazillion. So I know. I mean, a lot of us are very concerned, and I would like to dedicate this video or this, review to him as well, because I think without him, Marvel Heroes will not be where we are today. I think at launch the game wasn't quite there, but when he came into this game, he had changed a lot of things. He listened to all the comments. He pushed a lot of new changes. He go crazy over some of these things that may even destabilize the whole game. But he doesn't care. Just like do it for the good of people, for the good of the game, and so on. So I think a lot of success in this game only to Doomsaw. So thank you, Doomsaw. And now, of course, now with Doomsaw, who is leaving, also a couple other major, key developer or key personnel leaving as well. A lot of concern coming along. Like, what would that be a continuity, right? So, how's the new contents coming along? The heroes, how is it going to balance out with all these people leaving and so on? Will there still be quality of life? Kind of like, implementation, better event, and maybe. The one that's really from me is that, is this game sustainable? Because, we have 50 heroes right now. Every month we are adding one more hero. So the next time we talk, be another 3 heroes. And they have to constantly go back and review and update all the heroes, including the costume as well. So it's tremendous a lot of work that's been slow boiling all the way, because I can't find any game right now that will have that many characters, that many depth to each character, cosmetic-wise, as well as the game design-wise, as this game. So, there's a lot of question, of course, but I'm still hoping, I still have a very strong faith and hope that this game will continue. All the good work that's been done in the past will carry forward, and there will be new team, fresh idea, and so on. All right, so And of course, some of you may have already heard about this new branding, Marvel Heroes 2016. A bit of news going in, costume, maybe new villains, raid and whatnot. So the game is still looking up. There are a lot of pipeline and things to do, right? So that is just something that the game has to go through. Every game has to go through this kind of like turmoil and whatnot. But I think this game will be coming out even stronger. Now, just to recap, 3 months ago, I think Doomsaw have make a very bold promise that all the heroes, should become a top tier hero and should become awesome. And I think by and large, if you look at what happened in this game so far in the past 3 months, is that the whole power creep problem that we used to have when each hero coming up is stronger than the hero before until all the heroes become very disparate, that scene has been somehow being arrested in 2 dimensions, 2 ways, right? The first way is that the heroes that are the overpowered hero, like Dr. Doom or Scarlet Witch, whatnot, they put a stop to it and say, okay, look, it is we don't mind them to be strong, but they're just way too strong for the rest of the heroes. So they nerf them, right? So this is a very tough decision they have to make. But I think by and large, I think they have done the right thing, at least arresting the creep side. And then at the same time, they are actually doing very rapid tuning of all the old hero, even faster way of unit review to try to push all the hero just to get to the top tier, whatever the cost is. So I think, from that aspect, it is very, very promising. What they have done is that suddenly my roster has a little bit more excitement going on rather than last time in my first 44 hero review. I'm talking about maybe a big chunk of the roster just not there. And now the trend is very encouraging. So now, having said all these things about how Gazillion try to bring all the heroes to tier 1, there is still a trend going on. I think this trend will last for at least another 3 months, and then we'll take stock again what happened after that. All right, so I still think that the new heroes, as well as the newly reviewed hero, remain to be stronger and more fun to play. So I believe that. So if you don't listen to the entire review here and just go by your instinct. So anything that renews new, anything that's been reviewed recently, all right, those are likely to be stronger and more fun to play. All right, so we have seen the unit review, but it doesn't necessarily translate to result, meaning that, it translates to result, meaning that the hero is stronger, but it doesn't necessarily make a hero fun to play. So that fun factor, data design, Gazillion still has to address. And that is the trend I'm going to see in this. I think it's going to see in another 3 months or so. Now, why does it matter? Some of you may have heard that there's something called cosmic gates. So now the content is being gated by 2 things: skill as well as the your gear. So, but a lot of people don't really know or may not be aware, or now becoming more aware, is that it's not only these 2 dimension to it. The third dimension is whether the hero design itself is fit for purpose, right? So the cosmic gate actually a very interesting kind of concept being put in to sort of not only filtering the people with the skill or people with the or the hero with the build. It also comes to the hero design. So a lot of you may have struggled initially for the cosmic gate, eventually get through for some heroes, and you realize that some heroes are really getting a lot easier to get through a gate. And also there are raid that is pretty hard as well. So if your hero is a little bit fragile, the hero is not really doing a lot of damage or burst damage, whatnot, sustained damage, that is not going to fly. So choosing the right hero matter, and that's why I'm here for you, this whole guide, right? So now my hope really for the next couple of months is that, I think my hope is a little bit different from what I've talked about so far, is that there are more fun things to do, because I think the game's content-wise is getting a bit stagnant. I think they have to focus on how to create new content to continue draw new players in and continue excite the existing players. And I have this hope that this game will be more like a friend, kind of friendly to play with friends, because right now a lot of things are soloable. I think in the MMO world, a lot of people probably would prefer to play alone or solo, but it's still an online game. I still would like to play with my wife and my friends and so on. And it is one of those games that you can't really stay in a group for too long, because there are so many objectives out there that may conflict with the interest with other friends and so on. So you have to split and so on. So it is a very strange game, but it is what it is. And also I'm hoping that the heroes are more balanced and more fun. All right. So now, that's all the so-called macro sense what's happening in this game that will affect all the heroes and whatnot, of course. Let's kickstart this review. Like I've done before, all right, I'm going to center this whole entire review based on the play style, all right, and there's no force ranking because I've bought into the ideal whereby all hero will eventually become awesome. So I will not force rank, is this hero bad and that hero, in what sense is going to be, you decide, right? Because, whatever matters to me may not be matter to you. So my job here is to outline what the heroes are like for each one of them, all right? So, and also it's based on my experience, but for this video, because I've got tons of YouTube viewers, all of you, to support and sort of validate and so on. So I've also listened to you all and to adjust all my recommendation accordingly. All right. So now all these heroes are being highlighted in a certain objective attributes, things like how unique is a hero, is the play style, is it something that is easy to place, complex to place, is it tedious to place, how's the visual effect is like, animation is like, is it easier to sort of like get some gear and so on. So those are things that I will cover in this review, and of course this is for level 60 only. All right, so just the last thing is that watch out for my seal of recommendation. Those with a star is the thing that I would recommend now, but bear in mind that it doesn't mean that this is going to be your favorite hero, because whatever I recommend, I usually put in some kind of like context to it. So if you don't like certain play style, even if I recommend so, it doesn't mean that you would like it, or vice versa as well. All right, so I've seen some people who are playing heroes that may not be that optimal, but they enjoy a lot out of it and manage to get really a good job done on them. So it is very much like just an indicator, but do read the context as well. All right. So let the review start, and all my heroes are going to be arranged in alphabetical order, and there's time codes as well in the description of this video in case you want to jump to certain heroes. Just read about him or her, feel free to do so. Now, leading the pack is Ant-Man. Ant-Man is one of the new heroes that we have, and his DPS is great, survivability is fantastic. The health is so high for such a tiny man, and you can see all this visual effect even as he's tiny or huge. Is wonderful. And what more can I say? +1 strength synergies. So I would certainly recommend Ant-Man. I myself, if I'm going to spend all my ultimate token, I probably will spend on him. So yeah. Okay, second one is Black Panther. I think Black Panther is pending unique design. Also the it's a bit dated, the whole design of it. He's a hybrid heroes and can do melee. Has a range option, but I don't think it's that viable. So yeah, I mean that's really about Black Panther. For Black Widow is that she has a lot of explosion drones and so on, and she's pretty agile as well. She can do both range and melee, and power overlap for quite a fair bit, so you can switch between the two as and when you like it. So I think she's a very unique hero. There's no spirit issue and so on, but she's also an acquired taste. So some may or may not like it, but if you love her, you like her, you probably love her. As for Cable, it's one of the very new revealed heroes, and I've tried him out, and he has like quite a number of build options, because he now comes with 3 specialization. Now you can do melee as well, so that's a melee and range, and you can do mental and energy, pure or hybrid. So there's a lot of like fun when it comes to the build and the specialization as well as the gearing itself. All right, so Captain America is all-roundedly strong, very, very durable as well. High DPS, high burst, and very good team player. So I would strongly recommend Captain America to be in your roster. As for Colossus as well, I also would like to recommend him, not because he's that fantastic in terms of the damage and whatnot, but a lot of you ask for is there a tank in this game? So there are tanks. So Colossus is one of them. It's just that he feels a little bit slow when he does his thing, and you need to summon the Magic and Wolverine, and that could sort of like be a little bit draggy. But he's a classic brawler. Some of you may just like to have a strong tank. All right. So now Cyclops is that. I think he is still a little bit fragile from what I've heard, and I need to do a little bit more testing on him. But having said that, if you would like to just level Cyclops for the 10% XP synergy, which is very nice for you, if you are a new player, still getting XP, leveling heroes, gaining Omega points and so on. So this is a very, very good heroes to have. It's just that at end game I'm a little bit concerned about his survivability. But as you level, you can use Ricochet Blast, which is one of his best power. As for Daredevil, it's also a word of caution. Same as Black Panther, is that I think he is still a little bit dated, and I think that they need to do a lot more on him to make him a lot more exciting to play. And I find that his spirit management issue is still quite there. So and by the way, he's a combo melee, but his combo is not as exciting as some other heroes that I'm going to share with you. Deadpool will be the last hero that's going through the 52 review. I'm expecting him to be awesome, and but when will it happen? I do not know. So you may not want to unlock him now, but as in when you hear that he has gone through a review, I would recommend just unlock Deadpool. His voice acting is so hilarious. Alright, so now Doctor Doom. Also one of the new heroes, one of the newer heroes. He has 3 specialization, also including the option to have no specialization. All of them are just as viable. Able to deal 3 damage type, option to be a summoner, 3 signatures as well. You have 2 resources to manage, magic and power. So he is a true hybrid in all sense, and he's one of the very popular villains as well. And I think it's a very, very strong recommendation to unlock Doctor Doom for you. Doctor Strange is one of the hero whereby it's also very unique in the sense that everything go by incantation. As you do incantation spell, you sort of like accumulate sort of like points to it, and after that you get a free incantation. And it's a very unique because there's a lot of cooldown to manage, a lot of like visual effect is fantastic. Now, playing him may involve a little bit of hotbar dancing as well. So some of you may or may not like that kind of complexity. Totally understand. But I'm hearing enough on the ground saying that he is one of your favorite heroes, so I put a seal of recommendation for you. Emma Frost. Emma Frost's design is very dated. She can do both range kind of like mental, as well as doing something like a physical, which is a melee kind of like hybrid. So not all data design I put a triangle to it, because she's still having her utility, like in having pet that can taunt. It's very, very useful in a lot of scenario whereby it could be hard and so on. But I think she need a little bit more design update to make her more interesting and fun to play. On to Gambit. Gambit can be played as a hybrid, which is the melee, or the range, which is pure energy. And he is really fun to play because all the purple is flying everywhere. The visual effect is fantastic. So, I would recommend him to at least try him out, or, look into this hero, because I think he's a lot of potential, a lot of fun factor to it. Ghost Rider, I think I need to put a portion kind of sign to it, because I think he's alright. I mean, the way that you play him is that the lower his health, the higher the damage. So it's very exciting. But now with the kind of like a Cosmic Gate or Cosmic Petrol, so on and so forth, that is making it a little bit too risky, and the payoff is not as such. So it becomes like, you need to be a little bit cautious on your defensive, but when you do that, you lose your DPS quite a fair bit. So, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but he need a buff, a big one. Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye is a very classic ranger, as a classic cannon as well, glass cannon, which is good and bad, because some people may not like the kind of like, fragile kind of thing, but then, some of it like really huge, big number, red number, everything across. So she or he has a very high crit and high brutal. I would like to recommend Hawkeye, also based on some of the, what I've heard on the ground as well. Hulk. Now, Hulk is actually one of the heroes that was very strong I think in a couple of months ago when he did has his review. He was very strong and so on. But I think in a way, Hulk has no spirit management issue, it's just anger. But in a way, I think a lot of people's been reporting that he's a little bit fragile. Well, true enough, he is a melee, but you also need to play him as a melee burst, like DPS kind of hero. You need to get out when there are too much mess on the ground and so on. So some like it, some don't. So I it is what it is. But I still enjoy playing Hulk. As for Human Torch, I think he's very fast when he move around and so on. And I always like to see the visual effect of Human Torch. But I need to do more testing on Human Torch for you guys. Iceman. Now, Iceman is a summoner, or he can play as a summoner. So for those who like it, love it. I mean, because he's one of the summoner that's very strong and also very relaxing. Everything fit into one hotbar. There's no sense of danger or whatnot. It's just like, let the pets do the job. But some also find him a little bit too boring to play. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on whether you enjoy the kind of like laid-back summoner kind of like gameplay or not. But then I still would like to recommend because, as a summoner, kind of like a laid-back kind of thing, and he's doing a lot of like a damage, a lot of visual effects. So I think he's all-rounded. Invisible Woman is a hero whereby you probably have to. It's complex to play, moderate complex to play, because you need to manage invisibility. But once you get the hang of it, imagine, close to 90% of the time you are just invisible. No one can touch you at all. So I think it's one of the most interesting and unique part of this whole entire game that you may want to explore if you like to sort of work a little bit hard, but the payoff is that 90% of the time close to it, no one can touch you. So that's very good. Iron Man. Now, Iron Man has quite a number of build variety. You can build him as like a range, a pure energy, range or missile, melee as well. So, it's a lot of utility there. But I think his design feel a little bit dated, especially when you see War Machine. It's just that, wow, Iron Man could use some love, really a lot of love. So, yeah, but he has no spirit management issue, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the most popular heroes in the whole Marvel world. All right, Jean Grey. Jean Grey has gone through so many rounds of changes. I think it is no surprise that Gazillion love Jean Grey. So take it as a plus, take it as a minus. I think it's more of a plus. And also, she has no spirit issue. I run her as a hybrid, and you can play her as a pure energy, as a phoenix, or pure mental as a human form. You can specialize her pretty well, survive really well. So yeah, it's Jean Grey. I recommend. Juggernaut generate momentum as he move, and there are certain kind of like play style to it. He's a true he can play as a brawler, but you can also play him as like a movement kind of like hero. So it's very unique because there are many movement hero in this game, and he's one of them. And if for those of you who like to see the one big huge number and just hit and then bam, whoa, that kind of red number coming up, he's the kind of guy for you. All right, Loki. Now, Loki can play as a summoner, also can play as the caster as well. So now, I mainly play Loki as a summoner because I think summoner Loki is one of the most unique one. So, Loki is the only hero whereby I can direct the pet so fast, so fluid. So basically, when you play Loki as a summoner, things are just flying everywhere, and it's pretty tanky as well. So I would like to recommend Loki, and I think people on the ground also like the non-summoner build as well. So I think that is something that you would like to explore. Luke Cage, I also put a caution sign to it because I think he really need a lot of like a love right now in terms of data design. I think he will have his unique review. I think he has already got his unique review. But sometimes a hero need more than unique review to make him or her awesome. So he belongs to one of those category. But when you play Luke Cage, you can summon his friends Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Misty Knight, Colin Wing. So all these team up or heroes may mean something to you. All right. So that is Luke Cage. Magneto, I'd like to also put caution sign to it because I recently picked him up again and sort of re-evaluate. So that's what I do. I always re-evaluate all the heroes that I have. I think he feels slow because the animation is quite there's a lot of animation going on, and because of all this animation, and if you have a high latency like I have, then you could actually feel a lot of fragile because you move and you get hit kind of thing. So it's very frustrating somehow, and you need to collect debris as well that may or may not work well. And I think he really need a buff, and I think he need a unique review as well as the tune up as well. On to Moon Knight, I think he's one of the unique hero here whereby he likes it rough, and sometimes the lesser the health and spirit, actually the better he becomes. And also he can become invincible for a little period of time when he does his thing. So he's very unique, but I haven't really gone too much into it because I think the animation and the visual effect is not quite there for me to get excited to watch him play. So it's a bit bland, but maybe I would look into Moon Knight one of these days. And as for Mr. Fantastic, I still think that he's hilarious. A lot of the way that he do all the rubber and the whole signature is just like a one huge big ball and so on. And I think the animation is fantastic for Mr. Fantastic. Oh, all right, that sounds a bit strange. But you have to pick the power that is being responsive, because I think he does have some power that tend to lock him in some certain places that people do not like. But I tend to pick a build whereby I just get very responsive, a lot of fun come out from it. So yeah, I mean, that's Mr. Fantastic. Miss Marvel, previously being called, or is soon to be called Captain Marvel. I think she is one of the, I recommend her, of course, and she's one of the hero whereby it's very simple to play, because I know some people enjoy, some of you enjoy complexity, but some of you also enjoy hero that are just simple, easy, and she has a healing factor to it, and I mean, very exciting to see her jumping around and doing damage, but she's not one of those that you expect to have a lot of button to mash. No, there isn't. She has just very simple to play, and very steady, so she survived well, so I would recommend her. And as for Nightcrawler is a stealth melee, so it's also very special in the sense, a very nice teleporter as well. It's just that it could feel a little bit fragile, because I mean, he is a little bit fragile, but that's I have no other complaint about him. Nova, I think Nova is still like, I think the Nova is either love him or not too liking him, because I think he's unique, because there's a lot of like pulsar you can lay on, detonation, you can do melee, you can do range, and so on. But I think it still need a little bit of work on the whole hero design to make him really awesome. That's all I can say about Nova. Psylocke is, as you guys know, she's one of my favorite heroes, and I think, well, I mean, she's complex to play, because in order to play her well, you need to maintain certain summon, and you need to time your power quite well, because of all this damage over time, that the timing just go out of each other. So but once you get the hang of it, she's actually very agile, and very survives really well as well. She is pending a unique review, so I'm hoping to see a lot of her power getting to the 50 region, and more useful power being distributed across. She can be played as hybrid, but I personally would like to switch everything to mental, because that is a lot easier to manage for me. Okay, as for Punisher, now Punisher is one of those heroes whereby it's pretty complex to play, because you have got to operate at a very sweet spot. There's an ammo loading kind of like a first-person shoot kind of style. You need to keep constantly loading ammo, and you have to keep having that kind of like very precise, like how long it takes for you to empty the ammo and recharge it again, and so on and so forth. So he's very complex, but the payoff is tremendous, because once you get the hang of it, once you get gear right, get the right power, get the rotation right, you can see that everything just flows so smoothly when you play Punisher. But no, a word of warning: he is complex. Not everybody, not a cup of tea for everybody. All right. So now, Rocket Raccoon, I'm giving him a recommendation, not only because he's my wife's favorite hero, but he's also very unique, because he's one of those heroes whereby you can lay the pet on the ground stationary, so you can strategically place all these turrets and so on. And he does have Groot as well as his tank, so you can direct the pet everywhere that whichever you want to. So it is like if anybody thinks Summoner is boring because you just let the pet does its job and just shoot from afar, Rocket Raccoon is one of those that's very much in a very balanced way, whereby you have to rely on the positioning of the pet to do damage. You have to rely on Groot to do damage. You yourself have to do quite a number of gun power in order to buff yourself and keep applying damage and so on. So yeah, I mean it's one of those hero whereby I strongly recommend, and he can go stealth as well as a summoner. So there's a lot of utility on Rocket Raccoon. Okay, Rook can steal power from any heroes in the past, present, and future, including villain as well, making him one of the hero whereby it's just a blank state. You can design Rook however you want. You can pick the passive, pick the support power, pick the damage overtime layer, pick the cooldown power, pick the main spender. You can pick anything you like. You can be any damage type you like, and you can either go pure or go hybrid. Up to you. So she's one of the hero whereby I think if you must buy one hero, I think she's probably one of the hero you like to invest in, because you are future proof. Everything that happens in the future, she will have it. Not every hero have that kind of treatment. Scarlet Witch has gone through her 52 review and she has come out extremely strong. I love her. So strong that they have to nerf her a little bit on the healing side. But she's still very strong in her either chaotic chaos build or the disruptive build. And the great thing about Scarlet Witch is that, both build played differently, but to switch between the build, you don't need to switch a lot of gear, just one piece of gear, the rest of it can stay. So it's one of those things that you can, play, and after that, oh, I get bored, I switch to another build, I'm still playing Scarlet Witch. It's very relaxing to play, there's no hoba dancing, and the visual effect is fantastic. You can see all the magic everywhere, so I highly recommend Scarlet Witch. She-Hulk, now, so She-Hulk has come in the borderline whereby, should I recommend or should I not recommend? Because I think she could be a little bit, she could use a bit of buff in terms of damage output. But she's also one of the hero whereby, is extremely well survived in a hard content. She has irresistible kind of like a stun. And she has a very exciting combo pawn hero. Because, not many hero has a combo pawn system. Like Daredevil is one. There's some other hero like Luke Cage is another one, but those are very linear. You accumulate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty, or 2, 3, 4, 5 empty, So, but for She-Hulk, it's actually very dynamic. The combo point is being rewarded based on the situation whereby you are aware of what's happening. So it's not by random, but you know that when you do this here, you'll get more kind of combo points, and that is very rewarding in the sense. But I think she still needs some kind of buff in terms of damage. But so take it as, if you are into combo point kind of hero, she is the one that you should unlock. Combo pawn, right? So Silver Surfer, extremely strong. Being as leveling or end game, it's like I see move, things just die. It's fantastic. There aren't many heroes whereby you can do that in this game, whereby just shoot across and everything just die along the path. And if you are into movement build, if you like movement, I think there's only a few movement heroes in this game. He is one of those that you should seriously think of unlocking. And also, if you don't like to do too much movement, you can do like EMF as well, which is like a big beam, like Dr. Doom villain, the kind of beam. But even so, it's still mixed with movement. So he is a very unique hero that I would like to recommend to you. Spider-Man, with this costume as well. Now, Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man need the kind of like a unique, need to have a design revamp, not just tune up. Tune up will not work for Spider-Man. He needs the whole revamp of the hero, because I think his design is very dated. But he's pretty relaxing to play Spider-Man. You can do a little bit of range, do a bit of like melee, a bit of range, a bit of melee. So so that's the sort of thing that you could expect from Spider-Man. But I really hope that he'll get some love soon. As for Squirrel Girl, I put a warning sign there or a cautious sign, because I think her design is also very dated. I think she's like her unique is also seems like in a mess right now. It's like you can play her as a summoner, but then what about the rest of the thing that you can do with her? So that there is not a lot of excitement going on. I used to love her a lot, but I think over time a lot of heroes getting a lot more fun than Squirrel Girl. Star-Lord as well. I think they have fixed the elemental build. I've actually created the guide on elemental build. The spirit issue is very easy. There's literally no spirit issue when it comes to elemental build, or moderately for otherwise. But he just feels extremely fragile until a point whereby it's just that's one thing that I don't really enjoy. But then if you get over the hurdle of him being fragile, I think he has a lot of utility or fun behind it. Storm, I still haven't got time to look into Storm yet. I will. Since the last update, I still haven't really got time to go through. But I've been playing Storm as well. Some of you may have known. She's actually very relaxing to play. I enjoy just her cruising around. Then everything just get destroyed, kind of thing. So yeah, I'll do more testing on Storm and I'll keep you updated. Taskmaster. Now, initially, I saw I know how Taskmaster plays like as a ranged, and but then they revamped the unique. Also, they have tuned up the hero a little bit. So I haven't really gone through that kind of study yet. So I'm going to say I'm going to have a little bit more testing before I can do anything. Make any recommendation on him or or not to recommend. All right, so Think has gone through his 52 review. He is the highest health heroes we have today. He is a very classic brawler, and I would say that he's also one of the very unique hero whereby it is rewarding to gear for health up to a certain point. So, a lot of time when you gear health, you lose DPS, right? So, but for him, he's actually the other way. The more health he has, the harder he will hit on his main spender. But of course, there's a point whereby, it doesn't make sense anymore. So, he's one of the hero whereby he can very, very strong up front, and he's a true tank. So I would strongly recommend trying out Think. As of Thor as well, he's an all-rounder hero, and survives well, have a very fun to play, engaging all these Odin force and stuff like that. Lightning, and you have Roll the Thunder and so on. And he hit pretty hard as well, survives well, all-rounded, good, strong hero, same as Captain America. Venom. Venom is a bit different from some of the other hero in the sense that he used something called Ichor, and it can generate Ichor with health and so on and so forth. So there are power that use health, there are power that use Ichor, there are power that regenerate health and Ichor. So the concept is very nice, but I think I think he probably needs some kind of like tune-up or some redesign in some way. But if you like Venom as, I know he's a very popular villain, and also he has a range option as well. It's very relaxing, can from afar does his thing in a cosmic patrol. So it's worth looking at. Vision is one of the new heroes as well. He's extremely complex. I don't think there's any change to him since my last review on him. So. As he can play as a hybrid or not, or range, pure energy. But I think he's very interesting in terms of the rotation. If you get it right, he will hardly get hit at all, and because he keep like moving around and so on. He's very unique, but he's one of the most complex hero out there in terms of rotation, the most complex. War Machine is the latest hero being added into this game. He can do melee well, punch really well. He has a gun explosion. He can do range as well. I wish Iron Man is as cool as him, and he has not just one tri specialization, but two as well. So it's fantastic. I mean, the kind of combination you get from there, and sort of like, you can play range or melee, and everything fit into one hotbar. He's fantastic. But what's the best of him is that there's +1 fighting synergy. So if you want to invest in this game or want to play this game in long term, you will have him as a rotor because of the synergy as well, and he's really fun to play. So now, Winter Soldier is a stealth. To me, I play him as a stealth sniper, or you can use him as a melee as well. But I'm more specialized into stealth ranged. He's moderately easy to play because you have to manage a lot of stealth. It's one of those heroes whereby you can just stealth through the whole terminal, keep killing off everything, but no one can really touch you, kind of thing. So. But I think he probably needs some tune-up and so on. So yeah, I would say I have fun with him, but not gaining the recommendation seal yet. As for Wolverine, I think Wolverine is another hero whereby it's like Hawkeye, whereby have a really high crit and brutal, extremely. You can see like really big kind of like a number coming along, but he is more like a single target killer. So in a lot of game environment, they say like Cosmic Patrol and so on, area damage is important, just as important as single target. So that's why I can't really give him a seal of recommendation, but I enjoy playing him. X-23 also, I think she's also another acquired taste. She can have the bleed kind of build like the Wolverine, or she can have the movement build like any other movement heroes that you have. I think her move and animation is very gracious, so I'm a huge X-23 fan, but I also understand that some may not get her. So, but what I like about her is that I can use the same set of gear, I can play both build, whichever I enjoy. Alright, so now that is the end of the whole mega review, and thank you very, very much for watching, and feel free to feedback, drop in comment and so on, engage me in this game, and just to round it up, I think this channel will not be where it is today without your support. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.